As I've mentioned before, the gun control community will use any little incident, anything that they can to leverage their position to take away our rights. And like I've said multiple times before, they are frothing at the mouth on how they can use the storming of the U.S. Capitol building to take away gun rights. And we've all seen what's happening. You know, we've got this Congresswoman, Lauren Boebert, who has been very outspoken about her stance on bringing a gun to Capitol Hill, which I think is amazing. She should be allowed to have a gun in Congress, on the Congress floor. Owning guns is a constitutional right that is granted to us by God. So that means those legislators have just as much right to carry and possess a gun while at work as I do when I'm teaching somebody how to shoot, or as an insurance salesman does to have a gun in their office. They have the same rights as all of us, or at least they should. Now, firearms are banned on Capitol Hill grounds and the premises, and have been like that for a very, very long time. Although there is an exception that allows lawmakers to carry a firearm that got passed in 1967. Now, recently, Representative Jared Huffman, who's a Democrat from California, and Representative Jackie Speier, who is a Democrat from California, they proposed a new bill that would make it illegal for any congressperson to have a firearm anywhere on Congress grounds. So this bill is called the No Congressional Gun Loophole Act. Here's a brief summary of what it says. This bill prohibits the Capitol Police Board from allowing members of Congress or their staff to carry firearms on the grounds of the U.S. Capitol or in its buildings. Members and their staff may store firearms in their cars in Capitol complex garages if the possession complies with the firearms laws of the District of Columbia and the firearms are locked with gun locks while on the complex. Current broad regulations allow members of Congress to keep firearms in their offices. The regulations also allow members and their staff to transport unloaded and securely wrapped firearms within the Capitol grounds. Firearms are prohibited inside the chambers of the Senate and the House of Representatives, as well as in adjacent lobbies and cloakrooms, the galleries, the marble room of the Senate, and the Rayburn room of the House, unless approved by the Sergeant of Arms. Now, what these two gun-grabbing representatives believe is that by allowing congressional members to have guns, they become a threat to everybody else that is there. Now, let me ask you this question. Have we had a congressperson who was there who had a gun concealed that freaked out and hurt or injured somebody else? Not that I know of. So why then are you claiming that you are afraid of them? This is just another way that the gun control community is using the breach on the Capitol to frame all pro-gun people, all conservatives, Republicans, as being very dangerous. That's our goal. Let's paint them as criminals. Let's make them look super dangerous, and that will make it easier to garnish the public opinion to disarm these people. Now, what's really amazing is during the Capitol Hill breach, many of the congressional leaders were hiding in their offices. And they had made statements that said, I was very happy while the protesters are breaking in, knowing that I had a gun and knowing that I had the ability to defend myself. Many of these anti-gun representatives were hiding behind Capitol Hill police who had guns. Are you afraid of them? The lunatic gun grabbers will stop at nothing to disarm us, to frame us as evil, terrible people, and to take away our constitutional rights. We need to fight back and we need to make our voices heard. To these two representatives, we do not support disarming our congressional leaders. They have just as much rights as we do as citizens, and they need to exercise those rights. Because if they don't exercise it, then how can we ever trust them that they're going to defend our rights?